Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution Weekend Edition. It's Saturday. Where are we at? Episode 921. I got my creamer today. My glasses are fogging up. Got my creamer yesterday. I went with store brand caramel vanilla, and I really like it. I really like it. I got cute last year, and I started dabbling with pumpkin. I tried pumpkin spice, and I'm like, I'll give everything a chance. I'm not gonna shit all over pumpkin spice because that's like the thing to do. Oh, pumpkin spice. I tried it. It kind of sucks. I like pumpkin pie. I think that's about the only pumpkin I like. Boy, this is hot coffee that's steaming up my glasses. Hot coffee and air conditioning is working, I guess. So this is caramel vanilla store brand. I've never seen it before. It's Kroger brand. Pick and Save is under the Kroger umbrella. So that's what it is. Kroger brand caramel vanilla. It's tasty. I like it. It's Saturday, 9:21, I think, on the episode count. Good morning. July 1st already. Holy shoot. July 1st. My wife and I were on the couch last night. It's what we do. We're couch people. And she all of a sudden, just out of the blue, goes, in 2 weeks, we're going to be at the new house. Holy shit. It doesn't feel like it because it kind of, and we talked about it because we don't have anything packed. We don't have a thing packed. Not a thing. And we're moving in 2 weeks. The movers are packing us. I never, in my 20s, I moved myself and I paid off friends with pizza and beer. And then it's like, oh, you can pay people to actually move you? Okay. Game changer. Now they pat like, and then it's like, because a lot of people will be like, I'm not paying anybody to move me. I'll move myself. Not couch people. We don't want to move ourselves. They also will pack you. Now, they don't pack my cards because that would be, and I think you may have heard that in the Hobby Evolution video the other day, it would have been an effing fortune. And it would be. They are actually moving update. Movers are coming back for more cards on Wednesday. Initially, my shelf guy, who's putting my shelving units together, he was going to come on Wednesday or Thursday. What did we say the other day? Logistical nightmares. So my wife said, oh, by the way, the movers are coming Wednesday for more basement stuff. I'm like, oh, shit. So I got to text my shelf guy. I'm like, hey, I'm having logistical issues. I've got more stuff being moved Wednesday. Is there any way you can come before Wednesday to put those shelves together? Because I need the shelves put together so I can put the cards. Otherwise, it's just a freaking nightmare. Because the movers will put the boxes on the shelves. Otherwise, they're just on the floor. Like there's a bunch of boxes on the floor right now because I don't have shelves. So he's like, yeah, I think I can send 2 guys over on Monday. So that's great news. And I know they'll do good work because they put my shelves together in the other room. So Monday, shelves go up. Wednesday, more cards. They'll finish back here. Can't even see. They moved a lot more than I had thought they did originally. So there's a bunch of boxes still back there. My wife's like, there's boxes in like the very back corner of that closet that you probably haven't seen since we've moved in. I said, I know. Maybe there's treasure back there. There's probably not. It's probably just more 1988 Donruss. So yeah, they're gonna move that and then other stuff. So it's gonna be a busy week, but it doesn't feel like we're moving. Once stuff gets packed, probably after Wednesday, it'll feel, because hopefully a lot of my basement will be moved by Wednesday. So then it will feel a little more real. So what went on at the house yet? Painters were there. We had a whole crew of painters. Our deck steps and porch steps were put on. They're looking good. I was going to do a walk. I'll go over there today and do an update because a lot's changed. So I'll have to do an update video, maybe do another walkthrough. Well, I don't know because we've got multiple crews there today working over the weekend of 4th of July weekend. Because I guess for many of you, it's probably a 4-day weekend, right? Having Monday off. I didn't see the company I worked for. See, I never had like a traditional employer, right? And what I mean by that is my last job was in transportation. Well, trucks run 365 days a year. So we had like the actual holidays off. And then you would, potential spam is calling me. Area code 208. You ever do when you get a phone call, you just Google the number? Area code. Idaho. Who the hell's in Idaho? And then I Google the number, see who it is. And it comes up 208-960-7390 is a scam call. A scam call. Yep. Nothing's coming up. Idaho. Scammers are calling me. I do that when a strange number, and when I worked, and this actually goes hand in hand with my my previous job. So I'll finish my story. We had only the holidays. So for like this upcoming 4th of July, it's a Tuesday. So we would have Tuesday off, but we would have to go in on Monday. But if you wanted Monday off, you would have to take it. You would have to use your time off to take Monday off. So I would always work those days because I don't have anything else to do. Like, I'm not going to burn time off just to have a 4-day weekend. That's not me. Unless I was going somewhere. If I wanted a 4-day trip, then I would do it, but I don't do that. I'm a couch people. We don't travel much. So yeah. What was fun though about it was regarding holidays was if it were like a Sunday, we could use it as a floating holiday. Like it wasn't automatically Monday because again, transportation, you're running 365. So if 4th of July fell on a Sunday, we would not automatically get like Monday was an office day. You could use it. You could use Monday as the 4th of July day, or you could bank it and say you're taking a vacation in August, or it's the national. So if 4th of July fell on a Sunday, I'm like, well, I'm going to have to miss at least 2 days to go to the national. So I'll use that as, Wednesday. So the Wednesday when the national starts, that would be my 4th of July holiday. And then I would take personal time for Thursday, Friday, PTO. So that's how we ran. And then before that, I worked in radio. And guess what? You work on, I guess there is we didn't really have, we still worked. Like the day after Black Friday was like a big day for us in small market radio. Like I remember one Black Friday, I was at farm. Like this is when you're working in small market radio, when you're broadcasting live at the Farm King. So do you ever do that when you get strange phone calls? And my former, when I worked in transportation, my coworkers, you always got to answer your phone. My wife always answers her phone. I hate talking on the phone. Hate it. So when a strange number like that calls, I would just Google it. And it's like, oh, I need to call this person back. My wife would be like, I can't believe you don't answer your phone. It's like, I think I get that from my dad. My dad would be in his recliner. He was recliner people. My mom was couch people. My dad came from a long line of recliner people. He would be sitting in his recliner, smoking not a funny cigarette. He'd be smoking a GPC light. I was thinking about this the other day. I was taking the dog for a walk, Biscuit. And you know how we had air quality? It was double-digit air quality, which is good air quality. Breathe it in, good air. We finally had good air quality yesterday. I was taking the dog for a walk, and this is a few days ago, just a Smoky Haze from Thanks Canada. And I got to thinking, and I have a group chat that I'm in that I asked them, because I've never smoked before. I've taken in plenty of secondhand smoke, but I've never smoked a traditional cigarette. Now, the funny cigarettes I've puffed a few of those, but not like a Marlboro or a Winston or a Camel. So I'm like, when people buy like, give me some Marbs, need some Marbreds. When they smoke Marlboro over, say, Camel or Winston, why is that? Because my parents, they were chain smokers and they smoked GPC and then later on Kentucky's Best. They smoked the cheapest cigarettes they could find. So it was all about money for my parents. It wasn't brand, it was the cheapest. But people that smoke like the name brand, Marlboro, Winston, Camel, why is it? Is it the taste? Or is it just what you've always done? Like, I'm a beer drinker, but I don't have brand, I'm not brand specific. I don't care which brand I drink. Bud Light. I've been drinking more Bud Light just to piss people off. You know, the people that are like, oh, I'm not drinking Bud Light no more. So I like to order Bud Lights and say it proudly. Like, I want a Bud Light, please. But I'll drink Coors Light. I won't drink Miller Lite because it's the taste. I don't like the taste of Miller Lite. And a lot of people think all beer tastes the same. Nay. All beer does not taste the same. Especially when you get into craft beer because the shitty IPAs. Bleh. Sours. I don't like sours. I don't like fruity beers. I like lagers. I like stouts in the winter. I like a good wheat ale. So all that. So I was always wondering, like, if you the type in I'm seeing some of the comments come in. A Collector's Dream says Marlboro was marketed to the manly man. Yeah, I smoke a Marlboro because I'm a tough guy. Yeah. So maybe that's why it's like, I want to be a manly man, so I'm going to smoke a Marlboro. And then you just do it. Like, now your brand, what's the brand? Centric or whatever the hell that term is. So that got me. I was curious about that. All right, what's going on in the chat? Good morning, Turkey Cards. Happy Saturday. It's the weekend. Collector's Dream. Good morning to you, Raphael. What's happening? Herman in the house. Uncle Rich is here. He's going to be on Hobby Hotline today, 10 a.m. Central, so about 33 minutes away. So I'm going to try to wrap things up by 10 today. I don't have anything to talk about other than Leaf and Brian Gray. I do want to talk about that. That's all I want to talk about today, and then we can end it in time for Hobby Hotline to begin. Donald Davis in the morning. Hope you are well, Donald. I know Donald's down in central western Illinois that got hit pretty hard by storms. There's still some areas, some friends posting it like, has anybody else got power yet? And I think those storms rolled through like Wednesday or Thursday. And here on Saturday morning, I still see some of my friends are without power in that area. So hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. We did get some rain this morning. I've been running sprinklers all day the last couple days just to try to get my grass to turn a shade of green. Don't want to hand over a dead lawn to the new people moving in. I actually didn't care, but my wife cares. So full disclosure. So I don't have to run sprinklers today because we got a nice little rainfall this morning. Let's see. There's Uncle Rich. He's going to be on Hobby Hotline. PSA Canada, what's up? Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians listening. Ryan Brammer, good morning. Been watching you this spring and summer. Enjoy the content. Appreciate it. Thank you. Cooter says, making crews work 4th of July weekend. I bet you are real popular. Hey, we are not making the crews work. The foremen are. The companies that hire them are. I'm sure there's a trickle down and they're like, these sons of bitches, they need this house done and they're making us work. But hopefully they get paid double time or time and a half. Someone is putting a dead raccoon inside one of your walls. Fortunately, all the walls are closed up. Everything's closed up. So we're good there. So they'd have to like cut a hole in the wall. Let's see. Dan's in the house. Good morning, Dan. Herman says, currently confined to the couch myself, and not by choice for Herman. Herman, get well soon. Red Light 34, what's happening? Good morning. Brian Wolf smoked 15 to 26 years old. Now only smoke Camel toes. Marlboro was marketed to the manly men. Dan in the house, good morning to you. Finally made a live stream after 2 weeks of COVID in this household. That sucks. Welcome back. Cooter says, if you drink Bud Light, you will change from Marlboro to Virginia Slims. What if you drink Bud Light and smoke Marlboro? What does that make you? John says, what's new? What's up, John? Talking Tatis, good morning. The Padres have found new ways to find new low points. Ohtani is an AI robot. Hot take. Yeah. How about the Padres, man? I feel for the Padres and Mets fans. You fork over all that money. And you know what? My fellow Cubs fans who bitch and moan and complain that we need to spend $500 million on a roster because we'll be World Series champions. It doesn't work that way. Just ask Padres and Mets fans who spent, what, $300, $400 million, and all for naught right now. Brian says, LOL, thanks for not giving us COVID. Yeah. Dan quarantined from the chat. Red Light has a question about Car Dealer Pro. Where can I tell what tab a card is in when I sell it? So that's a good question. You have to go into the, I work out of the spreadsheet. So if you're working out of the actual, let me see if I can bring it up. CarDealerPro.com. It's part of the spreadsheet. I export my spreadsheet. Am I saved? Am I going to be able to remember my password? Is Ted in the house? Ted, what's my password? Hey, got in first try. All right, let's go to batches. We're in Car Dealer Pro. By the way, if you want to sign up for Car Dealer Pro, use promo code, I haven't said this in a while, promo code CUBS, C-U-B-S, and you'll get 500 free scans upon your paid subscription. Promo code is CUBS, C-U-B-S. Okay, so I'm going to open up. So I'm within the website. If you're working out a spreadsheet view, well, spreadsheet view doesn't have, how can you folks work out a spreadsheet view? There's like no columns in here. Do you have to add? I don't know. So basically go to export batch. That's what I'm going to tell you because I've never worked out a spreadsheet view. So click in your batch, open it up, export it to Excel or whatever spreadsheet thing that it works with. Probably just Excel, I don't know. But if it works with others, export your batch, and it's like column 2. It's like the second column, and it's custom label SKU. And that's where you put it in, and that's where it'll show it up. That's where it'll show up on eBay when you sell a card. Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? Max, a cowboy. It makes you a cowboy. John does not feel bad for the Padres, truthfully. Turkey cards. Oh, yeah, it's Bobby Bonilla Day. Get those Bobby Bonillas up. I wonder how many Bobby Bonillas I have in my eBay store because around this time, like in the month of July, when I'm going through cards like to list on eBay and I come across, I always make sure to list Bobby Bonilla cards because they sell. I guarantee you I will sell at least one Bobby Bonilla card. I'm sure I have some in my eBay store. And you'll get a premium on rookie cards, by the way. So I've got a 1990, let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. I have 42 Bobby Bonilla cards in my eBay store, several rookies. So if you're in the mood, for a Bobby Bonilla rookie card in a White Sox uniform, go to my eBay store. I'm going to accept this offer. Jackson Holiday for $3. I had it listed for $5. Sold. So there you go. List those Bobby Bonilla cards. If you ordered cards from Dan the last few weeks, you might want to get your affairs in order. OnlyFans is a great place to export your spreadsheet as well. If you want 20% with tippers, movers, do not mention Cubs 20. You have to click all where it says eBay up top. Oh, okay. Thank you, Brian. Paul Heath, good morning. Red light, thank you. Noah in the house. There was another Shohei rookie card graded by PSA that was trimmed. Wow. John says, why didn't you go to the University of Alabama? Because A, I wasn't smart enough. And B, I didn't want to go to Alabama. You like sports, don't you? As a kid, I wanted to go to Florida State. Where else did I want to go? Iowa. It just depended. I was a bandwagoner. But no, for real, in high school, I applied to like those, and I knew I wasn't getting in. John, you take a look at. I'll have to show off my report cards, and I'll tell you why that'll show you why I didn't get into Alabama. They're not taking my grades. I tell you that. I'll tell you that. So basically, my college choice came down to my friends are going here, so that's where I'm going, and I know that happens a lot. The smart kids can choose where they go based on what sports team they like. For those that like sports teams. Let's see. Brian says, asked about all the sections on the spreadsheet. CDP had no idea what they are for. I was like, thanks. Well, and I'll, to defend them, all of the sections in the spreadsheet are eBay. They're not Card Dealer Pro. So, that's just what you have to enable to accurately upload your spreadsheet to eBay. You have to have all of those columns, and a certain amount of columns have to be filled in. So I'm not surprised that whoever you talked to wasn't sure what each of those columns was, because I'm certain most of the people probably don't know I don't know what all those columns are for, and I've been using File Exchange and Card Dealer Pro, and I have no idea what they're for either. John is listing his slaughter card today. I'm not sure Alabama requires smart people. I had a higher WAR than GPA. Same here. You know, I might have had, if my high school didn't have like a super hard grading scale, maybe I could have got into a 4-year school out of high school. Let's see. We're 23 minutes in. What else? Before I talk Leaf and Brian Gray, John's favorite subject. Let's see. My ACT score was the same as my age. Your age now? That's really high. 43. How old are you, Dan? 43? What's the highest ATC score? 32, 36? I had a shitty ACT score because I didn't care. 36. Thank you, Max. We took our ACTs in like my counselor, my high school counselor, because you had to pay to take the ACT. Like, what a scam that is. My counselor in high school was like, why are you taking the ACT? See, that's why I didn't get into Alabama. Why are you taking the ACT? Because all my friends are doing it. Well, if all your friends would jump off a bridge? Yeah, I mean, it depends. I don't like heights, but maybe. No, because she asked why I was taking the ACT, because I had already made a decision. I was going to a community college out of high school. So it's like, you don't need to take the ACT if you're going to Blackhawk and you're pissing away $25 or $50, whatever the cost was. So I took the ACT, and it was one of those nice spring days. It was like 60 degrees in March. And I had a desk with a window seat. And I'm just like, I want to be outside. A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A. Did not equate to a good score. Noah says, MLB draft is in 6 days, July 7th. Really hope my Tigers get Wyatt Langford or Dylan Cruz. Yeah. So who are the favorites to go number one? I need to take a look because I love the MLB draft. I love the MLB draft back in like 2002. Was it 02? Probably 02. I think it was the Bobby Brownlee draft for the Cubs. I think they first started streaming it in audio on MLB.com. Paul Skeens, there you go. And that began my love for minor league baseball. Actually, I loved minor league baseball before then, but really got into the draft. And back then, the draft was all like, it was just somebody, number 7, Chicago Cubs select, ID 49578943221. Corey Patterson, outfielder, Georgia. So that was all it was. Now it's like a primetime event. It's fun. So I'm looking forward to the draft. School is a scam, which is what we were tweeting about last night. It actually shouldn't be a scam. I agree. I couldn't even spell ACT back in my senior year. Herman never took the ACT, took the SAT. I didn't take the SAT. I think, is that like by school, like what you take? Because there's different testing. Like the SAT, I don't think was like, you had to like, if you wanted, in my school district, if you wanted to take the SAT, like, I don't think it was like in my school, like the ACT was like somebody comes in, talks about it, and then you sign up and then you go and take it at like the neighboring high school because it was in a big town. But SAT, I think, was like you had to like go out on your own and take it on your own. Like they didn't have like a representative come to your school and say, hey, sign up for this test. Minor league baseball is like watching cover bands in bars. I love watching cover bands in bars. Maybe that's why I like minor league baseball. Dylan Cruz or Paul Skeens is favorite to go number 1. Pirates go under slot. Could go under slot. Few will make it. Flawed Thinker, good morning. SAT was the standard. ACT is a bolt-on. See, ACT was standard in my school. SAT was like, I don't even know how you would have went about taking the SAT. I don't know if, I'm sure a couple of my smart friends took it, but it wasn't like a widely available for my school. Max says school, but also SAT more popular on the East Coast. Well, there you go. There you go. I thought SAT was on the coasts and ACT more Midwest. Well, that explains it. That explains it. Me offering any tips on SAT and ACT, take it with a grain of salt. Harlan says a lot of schools today do not require a standardized test. See, it wasn't required in my school. The SAT, ACT, that stuff, that was on your own. Like you decide, you pay, you decide. But we had to do like standard, like the hell were they called? ISATs. I think that was just standardized testing for the state of Illinois. The number 2 pencils. Oh my God. Frickin' number 2 pencils. All day, all week of testing. BS. All right, let's not talk about school. Oh, it's going to make me have nightmares. Very few prospects make it. My Marlins still waiting on Sixto Sanchez and Max Meyer to develop. Yes, absolutely. Herman also took the ASVAB. Oh yeah, the ASVAB. I think that was one of those standardized tests as well. Just like everything else in the country, why not have one way to do things? Money and politics enter the conversation at some point. The hell is that? That's Biscuit. Somebody here. Hopefully, oh my God, the doorbell. Hopefully it's not the movers again. Who's at my house? Oh, I think it was a delivery. Pretty early for delivery. Movers are not back. Whew. Movers are not back. Let's see. Oh, Harlan means the universities don't require them. Where are we at? Dan is working on some t-shirt designs to hopefully get printed while I'm in Chicago. Very nice. John says, I didn't have to take a test to be a roadie. I did take a test after meeting Little Rock Connie the first time. As adult number 2 pencil means using in bathroom for crosswords. Someone's at my door. You dip? You dip? Speaking of prospects, loved the Rangers trade for Chapman last night. They're trying to win the pennant in 23, and the 17-year-old Dominican prospect they traded is obviously several years away. Those are good trades. I like those. And some people, there's prospect perverts out there that are, oh, I can't believe we gave up this guy. It's like, this guy's freaking out of diapers. Come on. Prospect perverts, man. Like, there are still Cubs fans, like, ticked off that the Cubs traded Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman that helped them win a World Series. And Gleyber Torres is not like this world beater that, I mean, his rookie year was like, oh, man. But Gleyber Torres wasn't going to help the Cubs win a 2016 World Series. Chapman did. But it's like these prospect perverts think, well, but if we would have kept Gleyber Torres, we could have won 7 World Series. It's like, and the other prospect is not a high-ranked prospect. That's the only way to make a trade to help your team. Chapman won the Cubs a World Series. Gleyber is a good player, but you have to win when you can. Definitely. I'd do that trade 10 times out of 10. And you know what? Another critical trade by Cubs fans is the Jose Quintana from the White Sox for Dylan Cease and Eloy Jimenez. Going back, now we have, now we're jaded by how it transpired moving forward. But going back at that time, I'm doing that trade 10 times out of 10. Now, I was not upset with getting rid of Eloy Jimenez. I was bummed about Dylan Cease, and that turned out, look what Dylan Cease is doing for the White Sox. And Eloy's been not very helpful to the White Sox. Cease has been great. And I was a prospect pervert on Dylan Cease. But even so, going back then, it's like Quintana, 2.5 years of control. He was coming off like a top 3, top 5 season with the White Sox with all that control. And you give up Eloy, who's going to be blocked, and Dylan Cease, who at the time we still didn't know because he had Tommy John out of high school. He was injured. He had a couple other injuries in the low minor leagues. It's like, is he glass jaw or what are we dealing with here? Rich says, in other words, I actually agree with noted talent scout Bo Spencer Thompson on that take. Rich is going to prepare for Hobby Hotline. Have a good one. Hobby Hotline starts in 13 minutes, so I want to get my Brian Gray talk and get out of here by the top of the hour. The Q trade was not a good one. We grabbed Q off his career year. In hindsight, it was not a good trade, but at the time, it was a great trade. It was a great trade at the time. Now, looking back, in hindsight, it's 2020. No, it was not a good one. But at the time, it was not a good trade. It was a great trade. But sometimes you never know. Sometimes you could say, oh, that's a shitty trade, and it turns out to be an awesome trade. Totally disagree, Max. Completely disagree. Jose Quintana had a great run in the 2 years leading up to that trade. And he still had 2.5 years of control. Eloy was blocked. Cease was not. Nobody would have expected at the time. Nobody expected Dylan Cease to turn out the way he did. He's an ace. Nobody thought Dylan Cease would have done what he's doing in Major League Baseball. I mean, he was like, people forget Cease was part of that trade. That's how much everybody was focused on Jimenez. And what's he done? Not much. Not much. And those two guys, Cease and Eloy wouldn't have helped the Cubs at that point in time. I mean, obviously Quintana didn't help. So it's kind of a wash. To me, it's like, yeah, would I have loved to have Dylan Cease in that rotation? Yeah. But it is what it is. Let's talk Brian Gray and Leaf. So Leaf put out, Leaf gets so much shit on social media, and it's like, and I think the only reason why is because Brian Gray is so active on Twitter. But it's also genius. Leaf puts out these cards, most recently Zach Hampel, the ball hawk, and people are just, in fact, somebody replied to my tweet, and I kind of like tweeting stuff like this because it pisses people off. Who this Knudsen guy, he's like the dregs of Twitter. He says he quote tweeted me and he says, collectors out here sucking up to Leaf CEO, Leaf Cards, and Zach Hampel, and he tags them. I didn't even I tagged Leaf Cards in my original tweet. And he says, I'm sucking up when he's the one that's actually tagging these people. Knudsen, the Knudsen. Tell me you trample a child for a baseball without telling me you trample a child for a baseball. It comes as no surprise the type of phony and then phony F's. And he gets cute by spelling the F word with a PH. Supporting Zach Hampel and Brian Gray here. You know what? I don't give a shit about Zach Hampel. But I do like Leaf products, and I think Brian Gray is a genius. And I think what they do at Leaf is awesome because it creates this controversy. And guess what? Controversy creates cash. I've got to give credit to Eric Bischoff for that saying. I don't know if somebody said it before him, but that's where I picked it up from. Controversy creates cash. So I love what Brian is doing at Leaf. And all these like anti-Leaf boys come out of the woodwork every time they release a product. And the thing is, they did the Putin card, a couple months ago. People are like up in arms. Like, I do not find that offensive. I'm sorry. I just don't find that card offensive. We've become too woke. We've become way too woke. And I kind of going back what Max, it's this like political spectrum. And I don't want to get into the politics of it, but our society is becoming too soft and too offended by these things. And I get Putin's a very bad person. But it was satire. It's a satire card. There's been companies producing satire cards since the word satire was invented, or maybe satire probably came before cards. But I don't get, but we have social media now, so we can get out on and YouTube, so I can get on my soapbox and bitch about other people bitching. But we have to get on our soapboxes and get offended. That offends me. Let's cancel them. That's my least favorite part of social media. Oh, they're the worst. And Zach freaking Hampel, like, I bet he's given away more baseballs to children than he's caught over. I've never, show me a video. Maybe there is video out there. I've never seen a video of him like physically pushing children out of the way. If there's a video, send it over to me. I'd gladly look at it and eat my words. But I haven't seen any. And that's like the annoying thing. Like, autographs are for kids. Baseballs are for kids. And don't let me go down that, because that's if you catch a foul ball in the stands. What if dad is on like a work trip or something and catches a foul ball? What do you think little Johnny at home, if I was an 8-year-old and my dad went off to a baseball game with his work buddies and my dad brought me home a foul ball, I would think that would have made my freaking year. But we are quick to say, give the ball to a kid. You don't know that guy. Little Johnny might be sitting at home. They might not even be able to afford a baseball. Like, we'll just go to the gift shop and buy a baseball. You don't know people's situations, and we're quick to judge, and it pisses me off. Give the ball to a kid. It really ticks me off when announcers say it. Like, I just want to punch the TV. No, I'm kidding. Violence is not the answer. But it's like, shut up. Shut the hell up. So that ticks me off. So freaking Zach Campbell. But the same people that are bitching about Leaf making a card of a guy that people don't like because he catches baseballs at stadiums, get a life. They're out collecting cards. By the way, Topps made a Zach Campbell. Thank you, Nick Examine Baseball, for pointing this out yesterday on Twitter. I think it was Topps Archives. Topps Archives made a Zach Campbell card in 2017. You didn't see all of these fanboys or anti-fanboys come out of the woodwork and, I'm not buying Topps cards because Zach Campbell. Get an effing life. Like, if that's what you're going to bitch about, my God. I guess that's a showing of how lucky we are if that's what we're going to go on Twitter, get behind our keyboards and bitch about a baseball card. But Leaf gets it. They know where that line is, and they're going to walk right up to it. And sometimes they're going to take a step over because sometimes the outrage outweighs the benefits. I think the Putin card was probably an example. I wasn't offended. I didn't care. It's like, I didn't buy it. I'm not going to buy the Zach Campbell card, but I also don't give a shit. I'm still going to buy Leaf cards because I think they're cool if they're in a Cubs airbrushed uniform. Leaf gets it. Brian gets it. They're master. Somebody mentioned it in the chat here. They're master marketers. And Brian stirs the pot, man. He knows how to stir it up. And that's probably why they get so much pushback from the anti-Leafers. Because Brian likes to engage. He likes to go to that line. And for many people, he steps over that line. And I like it. I like it. Good morning, Redbridge. A collector's dream. Brian Gray is the best marketer. He is. He's a master marketer. I love what he does. Victor, the rookie card specialist. Yes, controversy creates cash. A la rookie card. Might have to use that one. There you go. Don't credit me, though. I stole it from former WCW wrestling executive Eric Bischoff. Controversy creates cash. Leaf is cool for getting cards you like, not for financial gain. Absolutely. You know, am I going to go, I'm going to say the I word. Am I going to go invest in hobby boxes of Leaf to flip, rip and flip? Rip and flip. There you go. Rip and flip. Hell no. Hell no. But am I going to go, if I find some cool cards, whether it's on eBay or at a card show, I love when I go to a booth at a card show and they have Leaf because I can get them cheap. I've got some really awesome, some of my favorite cards in my Cubs collection are Leaf cards. They make really cool cards. Hate Brian Gray is one of the good old boys who works with the worst of the worst in the industry, but yes, he's good for something as far as drama. Brian Wolf says. George in the house. What's up, George? Max, good morning. Cooter says any adult who takes a glove to a ball game doesn't deserve a card. Ooh, hot take from Cooter. But see, that you can also say, you know what? I disagree. I hard disagree. Because that's like saying baseball cards are for kids. So I mean, why do we like, oh, this is a text I like. My mother-in-law just texted me, would you like a piece of cherry rhubarb pie? She's in Door County. Door County cherry rhubarb pie. So I disagree. Take a glove to a game if you want. It's like wearing a jersey. I've got some friends that are like, oh, you shouldn't wear the name of another person on your back. I disagree. If I'm going to a game, it's going to a game for me as an adult is like being a kid again. Like I can forget about all the real world bullshit going on, the stresses of being an adult. If you're 40 and you want to take a glove to a ball game, do it. Who cares what Cooter thinks? If you want to wear the jersey of another man, do it. Who cares? I wear jerseys. I don't give a shit. I open baseball cards. Remember what baseball cards are. At the root, baseball cards are just pictures of men on pieces of cardboard. JG, Leaf is grasping at any last straw possible, and they do it in a good way. They do it in a masterful way. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're running up against Hobby Hotline, so I want to wrap up the chat and get going. Max says Leaf is doing just fine. They can still play in their sandbox. And Leaf has a niche. They're not grasping at straws. Yeah, I'm with Max. They're not grasping at straws. They know their lane, and they play it well. Max says excellent cards. JG says, do you work in their accounting office? No, I'm not an accountant. Are you a Topps fanboy? Are you in Panini's accounting office? Matt says, I'm with Bo. Max says, wearing a jersey, glove, etc., nothing wrong with it. It's the insecure folk that want to tell people that can't have a problem. Learn to catch, says Cooter. Todd says, taking a glove or wearing a jersey, who's it hurting? Mind your business. That's my camp. Like, I don't care what other people do. If you want to take a glove to a ball game, do it. If you want to wear a jersey, do it. Let's see. Dan says, who the hell said don't wear the name of someone else on your back? One of the dumbest takes I've ever heard. I've got a friend that says that, and I've heard it from many other people. Matt says he's getting buried. So that's my thoughts. I think Leaf is doing an awesome job. And no, I'm not on the Leaf payroll. I don't even get any affiliate kickbacks. But if they're listening, I'd love maybe a Cubs card. You got any Cubs Leaf cards? It can be a shitty player too. It can be one of those guys that never made it. I love Leaf cards. I'll shill for Cubs cards. All right, I got to get going because I want to watch Hobby Hotline. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Leave all your comments about not liking Leaf in the comment section. Hey, I'd like open invitation, Brian, and I think it's Greg that works at Leaf. Open invitation. Shoeless Joe's on Saturday after the show. Come out to Shoeless Joe's and be the unofficial sponsor of the Couch People meetup at the National. All right, so have a good one. I will be on live tomorrow morning, probably the same time, 9 a.m.-ish, 8:30, who knows, maybe 8, depends. So like, subscribe, eBay store link in the description. Go over to Hobby Hotline. I think it's on the Bench Clear Media channel, so check out Hobby Hotline. Our very own couch person, Uncle Rich, is on the panel today. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back on tomorrow morning.